Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks, ranging from bestsellers to celebrity memoirs, news, business, and self-development. Every month, members get 1 credit to pick any title, plus 2 Audible originals from a monthly selection, and access to daily news digests from the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post, as well as guided meditation programs. Between a full-time job in IT and a full-time job in podcasting, it gets harder and harder to sit down and read the books I'm interested in. This is where Audible comes in. I can listen on my daily commute, relaxing, or while out running errands and still get in the books I've been wanting to get into. You can download titles and listen offline anytime, anywhere. The app is free and can be installed on all smartphones and tablets. Now you can try Audible risk-free with a special 30-day free trial by visiting audibletrial.com/nerdery and murdery. That's audibletrial.com/nerdery and murdery. Don't let your busy life get in the way of that great book you've been wanting to read. Go get your free trial of Audible today. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. This is Jeffrey, and we've talked about many times before that I experience problems and struggles with my mental health. And really, without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace is hard. The good news is therapy does work. It's helped for me, but what is therapy exactly? It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're not feeling motivated right now and would like some tools to help. Or maybe you're feeling insecure in relationships at work, or you're not dealing well with stress. Whatever you need, it's really time to stop being ashamed of normal human struggles, and it's time to start feeling better because you deserve to be happy. And now you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist near you to help. BetterHelp is a customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. So join the millions of people who are seeing what online therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself because you are your greatest asset. And there's a special offer to Nerdery and Murdery listeners. You can get 10% off your first month of professional therapy at betterhelp.com/nerdery and murdery. That's betterhelp.com/nerdery and murdery. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast.
Hi there.
Hi.
What you doing?
Waiting for some bone-eyed nerdery.
Bone-eyed nerdery. So today we're going to do bonus nerdery. This is our second bonus nerdery, and this will be for the month of November, I believe. We're going to talk about 3 little-known sci-fi flicks.
And you told me these, and I did not get a chance to watch them, so I'm learning everything new.
Well, you'd seen one of them, right?
Which one?
In Time.
Oh, In Time. Yes. I'm very familiar with that one. I've watched that one multiple times.
So yeah, today we're going to discuss 3 little-known sci-fi flicks that may have not quite made it on everybody's radar, but they really should check it out. One of which is Moon 44.
Okay.
The other is In Time, and the third one is going to be Hardware.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I know one of them.
One of them. So, Moon 44 is a 1990 English-language German science fiction action film from Centropolis Films. It was directed by Roland Emmerich and starred Michael Pere, Lisa Eichhorn alongside Brian Thomas and Malcolm McDowell. It also starred Dean Devlin. This is the first time that Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich worked together.
Really?
Yes. This is where they kind of got the idea for Stargate. While they were working on this. Because Roland Emmerich liked to do science fiction, and so did Dean Devlin.
Well, Dean Devlin is Leverage and Librarians. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also Stargate, Independence Day. They made some pretty killer films, but this one was really small.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Malcolm McDowell, you said?
Yes, Malcolm
I'm
McDowell.
surprised that it's a movie of his. I love him.
Oh, he's great in this. So by 2038, all of Earth's natural resources have been depleted. Multinational corporations have taken control of the galaxy, and rival companies battle each other for access to mining planets. A major battle is for Moon 44, from the title, a fuel mining operation in the Outer Zone. It is the only installation still controlled by Galactic Mining Corporation. Moons 46, 47, and 51 have recently been overtaken by the Pyrite Defense Company's battle robots. Galactic Mining has its own defense system, helicopters capable of operating in the violent atmosphere of the moons, but it was canceled as too many pilots died while in training. The company sends new navigators to Moon 44 to assist the pilots.
Helicopters.
Yes, helicopters.
In space.
Well, they're on a planet.
Okay.
Or a moon. It has atmosphere.
Okay. All right.
It's just not an oxygen atmosphere.
Now I'm with you.
Yeah. The company sends new navigators to Moon 44 to assist the pilots. However, there's still a shortage of pilots, so the company is forced to use prisoners. Galactic Mining regards its fleets of mining shuttles as even more important, so the base is attacked. The shuttles are ordered to leave the crews behind. Now, basically what they did was the navigators are all these young computer programmers, and they sit in the base, and they're navigating for a pilot. So every pilot is paired with one of these young hackers, basically.
It's almost like Ender's Game, or what was that? What was that other one he did about the alien invasion? Dadgummit. I don't know why I can't think of it, but yeah, the Ender's Game had the young pilots back at the base.
Yes, and so but they were the navigators, and of course the pilots basically just piloted the machines and shot down these robots. So Galactic Mining hires Felix Stone, who's actually an undercover agent. That's Michael Perry. To investigate the disappearance of two shuttles that went missing under mysterious circumstances. Stone travels to Moon 44 and meets Chief Navigator Tyler, Dean Devlin, who he's paired with, who suspects the shuttles were stolen by somebody after they modified the flight computers. Tyler can't prove it, but that's why they kind of sent Michael Perry in. So Tyler learns pretty quickly that Michael Perry is actually an investigator and a pilot, not just a pilot who is also an ex-prisoner. Major Lee, Malcolm McDowell, and his assistant, Master Sergeant Sykes, Leon Rippey, are the prime suspects. Stone later catches Sykes reprogramming a mining shuttle shortly before it departs. Sykes attacks Stone with an axe, but is quickly gunned down by Lee, who then refuses to hand over the modified computer to Stone, citing company orders. Having concluded his investigation, Stone prepares to leave, but the mining operation is attacked by a Pyrite Medusa-class battlecruiser. So it's basically all hands on deck to defend it. But Major Lee, Malcolm McDowell again, sabotages the alarm system and then orders all the mining shuttles to return to Earth. Stone manages to single-handedly shoot down the entire first wave of the enemy attack drones, while prisoners O'Neill, played by Brian Thompson, stays behind to destroy the remaining drones. And then Lee's actions are discovered on the base. Lee tries to sabotage the last remaining mining shuttle, but is trapped in an elevator by Stone and blown up by his own bomb. The others return safely to Earth, while Stone informs the Galactic Mining Chairman, Roscoe Lee Brown, that Lee was bribed by Pyrite to redirect mining shuttles to the planet in the Outer Zone.
Who's Oscar Lee Brown? Because you got excited on that
Roscoe Lee Brown.
Roscoe.
Oh, I can't think of anything he's been in. He's really great, though. Oh, goodness. Oh, I'm drawing a blank on anything he's been in.
That's all right. I can look him up.
So, yeah, this was one that was released in 1990, basically in Europe. You got it? You got Roscoe?
How did I not know who this is?
That's Roscoe Lee Brown. Isn't he the best?
Yeah, he plays such a great curmudgeon in everything he is. He was in Cosby Show as a professor. Go on, I'll find it.
Okay.
I'm almost positive he was in that.
Yeah, so basically this one kind of went under the radar. It was kind of big in Europe because it was actually a German production, but it was in English. The English liked it. Over here, it didn't get a lot of reviews. Everybody said it was kind of a dull film.
He was in Logan's Run.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Roscoe Lee Brown was in Logan's Run.
Interesting. I don't remember him in that. Yeah. Yeah. Several things that I'm looking through here. He was a voice in Freakazoid. I love Freakazoid. He was in Sequest. Oh, Different World. He was in A Different World. That's what I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, he's great in this. Malcolm McDowell's great in this. Michael Perry's great in this. Dean Devlin is great in this. Everybody was great in this, but a lot of people said about the film, like Time Out wrote, the film looks nice but unoriginal. The model work is okay but labored, and the acting is stunningly mediocre. TV Guide rated it 1 out of 5 stars and wrote, it's eye-filling to say the least, but there's not much tension or sense of danger. I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
When the techs are working, trying to get their pilots in good places, there's a lot of tension there, and the room they're in is very small, so it kind of adds to the tension. I think Time Out and TV Guide missed it on this one. I love Moon 4. I've seen it several times, not in a few years.
That was interesting enough. Go back to Roscoe Lee Brown for a minute, because something else he was in, and I've just found another nerdery topic for you.
Oh,
he was in Soap.
Yeah, we're doing Soap.
Oh yeah,
we're doing. That's right. Roscoe Lee Brown replaced Benson.
He was Saunders.
Yeah, he's really, really funny.
So sorry, I went back to him, but when I saw Soap, I'm like, yeah, that needs to be a nerdery episode.
Yes, we
need
for
to sure.
Yes, Soap, definitely.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
I know.
Okay, so our second movie is In Time. In Time is a 2011 American science fiction action film written, directed, and produced by Andrew Niccol. Amanda Seyfried and Justin Timberlake star as inhabitants in a society where people stop aging at 25. And instead of using fiat money as currency, a new economic system uses time as currency. Mm-hmm. So each person has a clock in their arm that counts down how long they have to live. And so basically you spend time to buy
a
bus ticket.
You're born with the clock already in your arm.
Yeah.
And I don't remember at what age, but the clock starts.
It's 25.
Is that when the clock starts?
That's when the clock starts.
Okay. And then it starts counting down towards 0. Yeah. And yeah, they use time to spend for anything. For a cup of coffee, you have to spend time, and they get paid in time. And the wild thing about it is they not only get to 25 when their time starts, they never age past 25.
No, yeah, because mother, the main character's mother, is 50 years old, and she looks 25.
Right. The movie starts with him celebrating her birthday.
Yes.
She looks just as young as he does.
Yes.
Also has Johnny Galecki in it. From,
yes, Cillian Murphy,
Theory.
Vincent Kartheiser, Olivia Wilde, who plays the mother.
Mm-hmm. I love Cillian Murphy's character.
Oh, yeah.
He's so good in his role.
Oh, my God. Matt Bomer is great.
Gosh, yes.
Matt Bomer is great in this. Johnny Galecki and Alex Pettifer. I'm not sure who that is. I think I would know this.
Probably, if I were to guess without even looking, that's probably the main bad guy.
Okay.
Give me his name again.
Alex Pettifer, Pettyfer.
I'm almost positive he's going to be the main
bad
guy.
That does not trigger a face in my brain. So
yes, he's the main bad guy. Okay.
Fortis. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm with you so far. So yeah, the film was released in October 28th, 2011. And again, with all the stars that were in it, Justin Timberlake, Olivia Wilde, this should have been a huge movie. It just really wasn't.
Yeah. And it didn't get a lot of great reviews either, but
which I don't get.
I love the movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think it's I've watched it multiple times.
Oh yeah.
I love when, when Justin Timberlake's character suddenly comes into great wealth, and he goes into, so the city or the country is segregated into time zones.
Yes. The time zone that he is in is called Dayton, and it is the poorest.
Yes.
And it's a manufacturing ghetto.
Right.
Where people rarely have over 24 hours on their clocks.
Right. And then you go up towards the richer zones where people have millions of hours of time.
Yeah, where in New Greenwich, people have enough time to essentially be immortal.
Correct. Yeah, because as long as that clock doesn't reach zero, you live. You've stopped aging.
Yes.
However they've done that. And it's just basically, it's Justin Timberlake on this crusade basically to get revenge on Greenwich.
Yes.
For basically making all their lives miserable.
Yes. And always constantly worrying about, not just not having enough money to live, but dying.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's pinned directly to your ability to live. Will Salas is the Timberlake's character. A 28-year-old Dayton factory worker lives with his 50-year-old mother, Rachel. And one night he rescues a drunken 105-year-old man named Henry Hamilton.
Matt Bomer.
Yeah, Matt Bomer.
Sorry.
With 75-year-old Fortis and his Minutemen, a group of time-robbing thugs. In a secret location, Hamilton, who has 116 years on his clock, but is tired of living. He just wants to die. Yeah,
and I think that's a very interesting point in the movie because that character is in a bar he shouldn't be in with that much time, and he is just flaunting, throwing his money away, buying drinks for everybody, and yeah, it gets the attention of the time criminals.
Yes. Henry Hamilton, or Matt Bomer's character, reveals to Will that the people of New Greenwich hoard most of the time. Like most of the time is centered in this one location. The next morning, he transfers all but 5 minutes of his time to Will. Basically, that's what makes Will wealthy.
Right.
Because he's got years as opposed to 24 hours.
Right.
Will then times out by falling off a bridge before Will can stop him. Because Will actually tries to help him. He's like, no, you can't do this to me. This is, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and you didn't touch on that too. It's another fascinating point of this is when your clock hits zero, there's no suffering. You just die. You just die. Your body just completely shuts off.
Yeah.
When that clock reaches zero, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You just have to keep adding money where you can, adding time.
Yep.
And then they even have the kind of arm wrestling contest for people to win time too. So.
Well, Will goes and visits his friend Boral, who warns him against having so much time in Dayton. You got to get out of Dayton, dude. And Will gives him 10 years, one for each year of their friendship, which I thought was really, really sweet.
It's really sweet, but it was tragic. For him in the end.
Yes, he goes to meet his mother, so they can go to New Greenwich together. However, the city bus fare has risen from 1 hour to 2 hours, and Rachel, having used all but 90 minutes of her time to pay off a 2-day loan, is short on bus fare to return to Dayton. And the driver doesn't let her on, so she has to run back to Dayton. And when she finally gets to Will, her clock times out.
Her clock times out. So the way you can give time is you grab somebody else's arm and you turn and you transfer time over to the other person. And he is reaching out for his mother as she hits zero and falls into his arms dead.
Yeah.
It's tragic.
But yeah, it's heartbroken and angry. Will then vows revenge for his mother's death by taking the people of New Greenwich for everything they have.
Right.
And then when he gets to New Greenwich, he meets a 110-year-old time-loaning businessman, Philip Weiss, and his 27-year-old daughter, Sylvia, at a casino. While playing poker, Will nearly times out, but eventually wins over a millennium in flawless gambling.
Right.
Because he's so good, because for him, it's not a game for him. It's life or death.
Sure.
So he plays to win. Sylvia invites him to a party, and Will buys a new sports car and drives there. Raymond arrives and arrests Will, who insists he's innocent because Hamilton gave him the time. Rather than attempting to prove Will's guilt, he simply confiscates all but 2 hours of Will's time, explaining it does not belong in Dayton. Will then escapes, taking Sylvia to Dayton as a hostage, but Force's gang ambushes them, taking most of their time and leaving them with 30 minutes each. Will attempts to get some time back from Boral, but his wife Greta tearfully explains he had drunk himself to death. Used all that time to just drink himself to death. They managed to get a day each by selling Sylvia's earrings. Will calls Weiss to demand a 1,000-year ransom to be paid into the time mission for desperate. But when Weiss refuses, Will releases Sylvia anyway. Raymond finds Will, but Sylvia shoots him in the arm. Will gives Raymond enough time to survive long enough for his squad to find him and steal his car. Now committed to ending the system, Will and Sylvia rob Weiss's time bank, giving the extra time capsules to the needy.
Yeah, they become Robin Hoods.
Yeah. They can't significantly change anything as price is simply raised faster to compensate.
Right.
So the people in New Greenwich see what's going on and just screw we'll just raise all the time. We can't give up our power. A TV report shows that factories in Dayton start shutting down as everyone has enough time to abandon their jobs. Mm-hmm. As they basically, they take all of Raymond's salary and give it to everybody. And they go to larger and larger banks still trying to crash the system.
Right.
And eventually they do.
Right. It's like I said, it's a great movie. It's a
good science fiction piece.
It really is.
It is a really good science fiction
piece. And I don't think it gets the credit it deserves because
God, no.
I really, really enjoy that movie a whole lot.
Yeah. And I want to say it was kind of a flop.
It was.
But I don't see why. It was gripping. It was interesting. The acting was really good. It doesn't. It didn't get its due.
Rotten Tomatoes actually gave it a 37%. And
wow! I guess people just don't like it.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I know. Really don't. It's. Well, a lot of people were that way about Gattaca too. Gattaca, which is a beautiful science fiction film, but when people think of science fiction, they think of, the general public at large thinks of, big, heavy action films. This is not. This is a traditional science fiction film.
Sure.
Like a la a novel.
Yeah.
And they it's dealing with the human condition. Again, like good science fiction. It's not about the aliens. It's about how we react to the aliens.
Yeah. I think people should give it a shot.
In time, definitely.
I really do. I think
this is a good one.
They would enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. My third film is called Hardware. Hardware is a 1990 British science fiction horror film starring Dylan McDermott, Stacey Travis. The film was written and directed by Richard Stanley, and this was his feature film directorial debut. It also features cameos by Carl McCoy, Iggy Pop, and Lemmy. Iggy Pop is the radio announcer in this.
Okay.
Since its release, has become a bit of a cult film. Trey and I got turned on to this pretty early on. It's like, have you seen this cyberpunk movie called Hardware? And this is, this is the first time that anyone tried to basically film a cyberpunk movie. Mm-hmm. And I think they did a really good job. It definitely has a cyberpunk feel, and everybody's about cyberpunk now.
Oh, it's huge now. I mean, it's got a huge following now. That's it. Really interesting. I'd never heard of this one either.
Hardware. Yeah, this is kind of considered a little indie film for a long time. Although I think it was pretty big in England where it was released. It's about a self-repairing robot that goes on a rampage in a post-apocalyptic slum. Fleetway Comics successfully sued the filmmakers over their screenplay because it plagiarized a short story entitled "Shock" that was in a 1980 Judge Dredd annual.
So interesting. You're talking about a robot that is self-aware and everything like that. And I'm sorry to tail off, but
yeah, you're fine.
One of the movies that makes me think of, and we've had so many conversations over this over the years, is AI, which was a brilliant movie to a point.
Yeah.
And it's, I've said it so many times over the years, and I'll tell people I don't care if it spoils it. I really don't care, because if you like the movie AI, when he finds Blue Fairy, please stop the movie.
Stop the movie.
Don't continue.
Don't go on.
Or you will end up hating the movie.
You'll be mad. It's like a Stephen King book.
Yes, except in this one, really seriously, the movie had a logical conclusion right there, and the rest of it
was
crap.
Beautiful and sweet.
It was absolutely beautiful to that point. The rest of it is crap.
Yeah, and you know what it is? That was the last thing that Kubrick was working on.
Yeah,
and he got a lot of it filmed and a lot of it done, and then he got to the very end, and and he passed away. So
Right.
Spielberg picked it up and said, "Oh, this is great. I like where he put this ending, but I want to tag another ending."
Yeah, I
on the
want
end
to
of it."
add another ending onto it. And it's just like, oh, come on, Spielberg. You've done so much better. Oh, it just made me mad.
Had to have a happy ending. Well, no,
but
it
that's
doesn't.
what this makes me think of.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This movie really doesn't have much of a happy ending either.
Oh,
The nomad scavenger, treks through an irradiated wasteland and discovers a buried robot. He collects the pieces and takes them to a junk dealer, Alvy. The name of the scavenger was called the Zone Tripper.
really?
The Zone Tripper, which was, I think, for one Halloween when I was in college, I went as the Zone Tripper. He has this big, broad hat, and he actually looks like a robot himself. It's so cool. I love the Zone Tripper.
Makes me think of Adventures in the Forbidden Zone.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. Well, it's kind of what they were going for. So Albie's talking with Hard Mo Baxter, a former soldier, and Mo's friend Shades, and he goes by Shades because he has sunglasses on the whole time.
Fair enough.
Yeah. When Albie steps away, Mo buys the robot parts from the Nomad, and sells all but the head to Albie. Intrigued by the technology, Albie begins to research its background. Mo and Shades go visit Jill, Mo's girlfriend, who's a sculptor. She likes to take pieces of junk and sculpt them out. So she takes the head and makes it part of a sculptor. Jill has a distant welcome. Jill checks everything with a Geiger counter before they even walk in, and he gives her the robot head as a Christmas gift. Jill eagerly accepts the head, and after Shays leave, they have loud, passionate sex. There's a lot of loud, passionate, yeah. While being unknowingly watched by their foul-mouthed, perverted, voyeuristic neighbor, Lincoln Weinberg, via a telescope. Later, Mo and Jill argue about the government sterilization plan and the morality of having children. Jill works on the robot head into this real big sculpture. It's almost like an angel piece, and she paints it. Oh, God, it's really pretty, but also really cyberpunky at the same time. And Mo says he likes the work, but he does not understand what it represents. Frustrated, Jill says it represents nothing and resents Mo's suggestion that she make a more commercial art to sell. They're interrupted by Alvy, who urges Mo to return to the shop. He has important news about this robot, which he says is a Mark 13. But before he leaves, Mo checks his Bible, where he finds the phrase, "No flesh shall be spared," under the thing, Mark 13:20.
Yeah, because I'm reading the synopsis too. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a military cyborg.
Yeah, he is a military cyborg. I think Shades is too. But he becomes suspicious that the robot is Robart? That the robot's part of a government plot for human genocide to address the planet's severe overpopulation crisis. Mo finds Albie dead of a cytotoxin and evidence that the robot is an experimental combat model capable of self-repair. So he has to run back to Jill because he realized the robot rebuilds itself and she has its head in a sculpture. Albie notes also indicate a defect, a weakness to humidity. So if you can get it wet enough, you can get it to slow down.
What is it, a gremlin?
Well, no, it's
gremlin multiplies.
Yeah. So worried, Mo contacts Shades and asks him to check on Jill, but Shades is in the middle of a drug trip and barely coherent. Back at the apartment, the robot has reassembled itself using pieces of Jill's sculpture and recharged by draining her apartment's power network. It attempts to kill Jill, but she traps it in a room after the apartment door's locked. Lincoln sees the robot close the blinds while trying to peep on Jill, and after he briefly manages to open the apartment door, makes crude sexual advances towards her and offers to override the emergency locks that traps her in her apartment. Lincoln dismisses the warning of Jill that there's a killer robot inside this apartment. Be careful. And it ejects him with this neurotoxin that kills her, or that kills him. Jill flees into her kitchen where she reasons that the refrigerator will hide her from the robot's infrared vision. She damages the robot, but before Mo and Shades, the apartment security team, arrives to open fire on it, apparently destroying it. And as Jill and Mo embrace, the Mark 13 drags her out the window and crashes into her neighbor's apartment. Jill races back upstairs to help Mo, who is alone with the Mark 13. And overconfident, he engages it in battle, and the Mark 13 engages Mo with the neurotoxin, which kills Mo. The security team all die while they're attempting to re-enter, and Shades is trapped outside. Jill hacks into the Mark 13 CPU and unsuccessfully attempts to communicate with it. However, she discovers the robot's weakness and lures it into the bathroom. Shades, who's managed to quickly jump through the doors, gives her time to turn on the shower. The Mark 13 short circuits and is finally deactivated. But the next morning, the radio broadcaster, Iggy Pop, announces that the Mark 13 has been approved by the government and will be mass manufactured.
Wow.
So, yeah, they're going to send them out to rid the Earth's population of excess population.
Wow.
Yeah. Hardware's dark, man. Music's great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it sounds it. I don't know that I need to see the movie. I don't know what happens in it. But, I mean, it sounds fascinating enough.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's kind of like it has a definite feel of like Dark City or City of Lost Children or Delicatessen. So if you like those films, you'll love Hardware.
Well, we know you do.
Yeah, yes, I do. But it kind of flew under the radar. Like I said, this was more of an art house film over here. It was big in England where it was released as a major science fiction film. They threw a lot of money at it. It looks good.
Well, all three of these flew under the radar. I mean, because within time being the only one I know that I've watched. That's one that didn't get a lot of high praise and just kind of came and went. And it kind of sounds like that's what these two did as well.
Yes.
They sound interesting enough that I want to give those two a watch.
Oh yeah.
And hell, I'll watch In Time anytime. I like that movie.
Yeah, I've seen it 3 or 4 times. In Time's great. Moon 44 is great. Hardware was, I was kind of really, when I was 19, 20, 21 years old, Hardware was one of those films that I would just go, I would go rent it and rewatch it. I think I actually owned a copy of it that I bought from a local video store that was going out of business. So I just had it, and I want to say I wore the tape out.
The dangers of old VHS.
Yes,
so we could actually
VHS.
wear it out.
So yeah, I think these are 3 that folks may have missed and don't know about, especially if they like a good hard sci-fi. All 3 of these are good hard sci-fi. They're different genres. That's why I picked these specifically. Moon 44 is more of a space opera. In Time is more of a sociological piece.
Yes.
And Moon 44 is straight up cyberpunk.
Cool.
Yeah, but Mo is a cyborg.
Right.
The Zone Tripper, I think, is a cyborg, and I think Shades is too. So, and I included a picture of Jill smoking a cigarette with her welding helmet on because I like that image.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's basically it for the bonus nerdery. The Bone Eye Nerd Eye.
The Bone Eye Nerd Eye.
As always, you can get pictures and everything else at our website, nerderyandmurdery.com. You can also hit our social media, give us comments, praises, thoughts on the film, maybe ideas on films we should also explore, because we'll give them a watch. Tell us what you thought of them. You want to give, you can also give us reviews on Facebook and I believe iTunes. Can they do it on Google Podcasts? Is there a place for that?
I think you can leave reviews on Google. Yeah, I think so.
I know that as well. Also, we have our merch there, so if you want some of your Nerdery and Murdery merch, please pick it up. And our Patreons, if you want to support the show, because it's not free to produce.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. And of course, you can see the pictures and the links, which you can go out and check these films
The ones
out.
that magically appear.
Yes, the ones that magically appear out of the folder that I put them in. So, I have been Zig with your nerdery.
I've been Jeffrey with your color.
Thank you. A little color commentary. Cue the music.